it's accepted by everyone. Sankaracharya wrote Gita Mahatmya. Right? And he was the founder of the Mayavad school in modern times, but still he glorified the Veda. Everybody, Gandhi wrote a commentary on the Bhagavad Gita. Everybody accepts Bhagavad Gita, but usually they give their wrong interpretation of it. But still, to become some kind of Vedic authority, you have to, you refer to Bhagavad Gita. So, if you read Bhagavad Gita and you do not come to the same conclusion as Arjuna, then you have not read Bhagavad Gita, you read some other book. You see. Right. Arjuna's conclusion is, he says this in the 10th chapter, 12th to 14th verse, this is his conclusion, this is his realization after hearing 9 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. He says, Param Brahma Param Dhamma Pavitram Paramam Bhavam Purusham Sasvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhu. Arjuna said, Param Brahma, Krishna, you're the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, Param Dhamma. Pavitram, the purest. Paramam, the absolute truth. You are Purusham, the eternal person. Sasvatam, you're transcendental. Divyam, you're transcendental, and Sasvatam, you're the original or person, Purusham. And Adidevam, you're the original God. Ajam, you're unborn, and Vibhum, and you are the greatest. Then he says, Ahustvam Vishaya Devir. Ahustvam Vishaya Sarve Deva Asir Naradas Tata Asito Devalo Vyasa Swayam Chaiva Bhavisime. And all the great sages, such as Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyasa, they confirm this truth about you, and now you're saying it yourself. You're declaring it yourself. In other words, the previous greatest sages confirm this truth. Arjuna realizes it, and Krishna declares it himself. Because in the Bhagavad Gita, the 4 nutshell verses of the Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, 8th verse, 9th verse, 10th verse, and 11th verse. They're called a nutshell. The whole Bhagavad Gita is constructed again around these 4 verses. Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, 8th verse says, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksis aham sarvasya prabhava matak sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanditaha. Krishna said, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So he declares it himself. The previous recognized great saints and authorities declare it. Arjuna declares it. So that's Arjuna's mature understanding of Krishna and hearing the Bhagavad Gita. So if I read the Bhagavad Gita and I don't come to that understanding, that means I didn't read the Bhagavad Gita. I read some other book. So the first authority of Bhagavad Gita is Krishna, and the second authority is Arjuna. If we accept that, then we can receive the Vedic knowledge without any confusion or misrepresentation. But if we say, oh, well, there's this one Baba, and he can twist his body like a pretzel, and he breathes out of one nostril, and he knows Bhagavad Gita. And what's his conclusion? Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya. Only Brahman is true, Jagat is all false. He doesn't know Bhagavad Gita. That's not Arjuna's conclusion. If you say Jagat, or the material world and everything in it is false, that means Krishna is also false, because he appeared in the material world, didn't he? He walked amongst the Pandavas and the Kurus, and he drove Arjuna's chariot. Is he also false? Is the Bhagavad Gita, which was spoken in this world, is that also false? You see? Is the deity worship that's been going on for thousands of years in India, is that also false? So, therefore, that Baba, he doesn't understand Bhagavad Gita. What he's doing is throwing the baby out with the bathwater. That's my philosophy. So, the youth of India, their first determination is who is actually an authority on this subject. And from that point on, you acquire knowledge. You gain knowledge. It's not, knowledge does not come before faith. Faith always precedes knowledge. I'll give you an example. Let's say you go down to a ticket office, Air India ticket office, and you're buying a ticket to go to Bombay from Seattle, right? And the ticket salesperson says, "Sir, I would not buy a ticket on this particular flight." You say, "Why not? It's the right flight for me." "No, the plane's going to crash." Would you buy the ticket if the ticket salesman told you that privately?
I would not buy.
Why?
I've lost the faith.
You lost the faith. When you buy the ticket, you have the faith. You don't have the knowledge.
Right.
You have the faith that that airplane is going to get you to Bombay safely. Now, when will you know for sure that's true?
When I reach.
When you reach Bombay, when the plane touches down and there was no accident, and you're walking off the plane into the airport, then you know, then the knowledge comes that yes, this plane got me to India. Up until that point, you had faith. You see? So I'm telling you, faith always precedes knowledge. It's not that after you have great knowledge, then you can have faith, which most people believe like that. That's all nonsense. When you put your money in the bank, what faith do you have?
I can get the money back.
You can get the money back. If you put the money in the bank and someone tells you you'll never get it back, would you put it in?
No.
No, of course not. But you don't know, but you have faith.
Right.
See? Faith always precedes knowledge. So the first and foremost question is, who are you going to put your faith in as an authority? From that point on, you'll get knowledge. Now, how do we know who to put our faith in? Because everyone's saying, I'm an authority, right? You know, that's the subject of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna, you know, that up until the 10th chapter, Krishna explained to Arjuna how you can know the real thing from a fake. See? And once Arjuna understood that, then he was able to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because Krishna taught him that discrimination. Just like you're a young boy. Now let's say you come to America and your father and mother or grandfather is in India. And before you leave, your grandfather grabs your hand and says, Ankit, right?
Yeah.
Be careful in America. Don't go around with bad people. Stick with honest people. Pitaji, how do I know who's honest? When you sit down with a person to eat, hand them bread and say, you break the bread. If they break it and give you the smaller piece, stay away from that person. If they break it and give you the bigger piece, you know you can trust that person. Okay, now that's your grandfather's, let's say, village wisdom. Right? He's trying to teach you how to discern. First of all, he's telling you stay away from dishonest people and bad people. And then you ask him, how do I know who's honest, who's good? When he gives you a little test. That's what Krishna does in Bhagavad Gita. First, he teaches Arjuna how to know what's real and what's not real. That's called philosophy. Philosophy helps you to understand what is real and what is false, and how to follow the real for the benefit not only of yourself, but for all humanity. That's philosophy. And that's first 9 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Once your power of discernment is evolved to where you can make a proper decision of who to accept as an authority, just like 21, like someone on kids, all this, you know, thing about Vedas and Hindu, just forget about that. Look, the only purpose of life is to enjoy pretty girls, and to do that you need to make money. You get a nice car, you get a new Lexus, you get a nice watch, you know, good clothes, and you take the girls out and go and do a bhangra with DJ Kazan, you know, in Bellevue, and then you take her back to your apartment and you have sex, and you know, you're happy. What are you worried about? You know, you have a good job, you have a good car, you're young, you have to enjoy this world. On the other hand, your father is saying, or your grandfather says, look, kid, you have to be austere. Don't be tricked by all these materialists. You study, you work hard, then we'll find you a good girl and we'll get you married. You know, Vedic samskar and vivaha, you know. and you live an honorable life. And you protect your honor, you protect the honor